Hello guys, this is Vysh. So we are trying to catch up all the previous Hindu editorials which we missed. So January the 29th Saturday, that was the last one which we did, and today we'll do January 31 Monday. So please let me know if there are any concerns because some of the people have not watched previous episodes and the quiz also. In Instagram we have started putting it, so in Instagram also you can start answering. So please see to it that you are connected with us. Okay, you tell us what are your queries, you tell us what other episodes you need, and also the 2022 final batch is launched. After this there will be no batch because minimum 120 days you need to study this. Okay, after that if you cross it, then it's very difficult. You cannot complete the entire syllabus in 80 days or 90 days and all. So please see to it that you are joining this batch and studying from the best source. So WhatsApp me and you will get the details of it. First we'll see today's agenda. So today almost every articles are important, so maybe it will go a little lengthy, but I'll try to tell the important points alone. So first one is a political article, but it's important. It's Maharashtra Assembly versus Court. Some things are going on there, so we'll discuss that with respect to the constitution and some powers of the judiciary and legislature. So that we'll discuss. Then this one, if you see, it's Russia versus USA. Again, I told every day Russia versus USA, at least one article will come, and every day something new is there to learn. Also, there are many processes, there are many protocols, there are many treaties. So you will have at least some things to learn for both prelims and mains. So we'll discuss this. Now this is about Mahatma Gandhi, a general article. The author is telling he's an out of the box thinker. He's a disturber in our minds. So many things are there, but in between little philosophies are there. So we'll quickly discuss whatever I have underlined in this. We'll discuss that. Now this is Andhra Pradesh. Again, there are new 13 districts being formed. So Andhra, Telangana problem, Andhra internal issue. So this and all for UPSC they won't ask you. Okay, so it's not very important. We will not discuss. This is Manipur elections. Again, elections related. We will not discuss. Now this, if you see, it's Myanmar. There was a military coup and that is completing 1 year in March. So that is why this is important, and this we'll discuss what are the happenings. Okay, the past also, the present also, and what will be the future. We'll discuss this. Okay, it's important for your GS2 international relations. Now this article and this article, if you see, both are related to inequality reports. Okay, but two different reports. This is one inequality report which is titled something like Inequality Kills. Okay, a general article by Oxfam. Okay, but here it is World Inequality Report, which is given I think annually by World Inequality Lab. Okay, so this is one inequality report, this another inequality report. Result is almost same. They're telling India is a highly unequal country, and many statistics are there, but understand that it's two different reports. So if you see, out of these 9 articles, around 4 plus 2 6 articles are important. Okay, so it's a very lengthy day today, so please stay tuned, and after this I'll do the quiz also, so it will be very helpful for you in answering it and then understanding that okay, I have got all the points. In Vysh courses channel, there are some videos which gets good views, there are some which gets poor views. You have to understand that everything which is made is only for UPSC sake. Okay, other exams are not considered now. Other exams separate playlist are in pipeline, but these are all done for UPSC sake. So if you are an aspirant of UPSC, you have to watch them. Okay. And all the other lectures, hope you are watching as per your need. And MCQ series people were asking, that will again start around the time of March end or April. Okay, the previous year questions or other daily quizzes, because that is when you need it. Now you don't have to directly start the prelims questions through YouTube channels. You already would have some test series, study from that. Okay, so first one is Maharashtra Assembly versus Court. So if you see, there was a 1 year suspension. Okay, 1 year suspension of 12 BJP legislatures in the Maharashtra Assembly. Okay, so that one, Supreme Court has now told that it is illegal and irrational. Okay, they are like misusing the powers of the legislature and all those kind of things. So disciplinary action, okay, it can be always taken if some legislature takes any misbehaves or shouts or tries to stop the proceedings of the house. You can surely dismiss them, suspend them. That and all is there. The power of the legislature is there. But problem here is the timeline, 1 year suspension. Okay, so here if you see, the power of the house to suspend a member as essentially is essentially defensive or self-protective, so that disorderly conduct does not overwhelm its proceeding. Meaning, so why are they dismissed? So that they don't interrupt the proceedings of the house. So one session, in 1 year there is this budget session, there is monsoon session, there is winter session. So when session happens, only that time is what you get interrupted. So why are you banning it for like 1 full year? You can ban for that particular session. So it should not assume a punitive character. The suspension beyond the duration of the session was illegal. Okay, meaning the budget session is going on, somebody is interrupting. Okay, dismiss him for that 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever that session is happening. He is dismissed. After that, when the next session comes, after whenever the monsoon session comes, that time he should be able to come to the house. That is what the Supreme Court is telling. Okay, so need to exercise the power was limited to restoring order in the house, not needed beyond the day or in case of repeated disorderly conduct to the session. Okay, either the day you dismiss him or the session you dismiss him, not the full 1 year. Okay, so it's like worse than expulsion they're telling, because there is this defection, there is that permanently you are throwing away someone from the house, speaker or election commission, whoever can do that. Also, when it happens within 6 months, okay, you hold a by election, meaning always you should have a person there who is representing the people, and else you are conducting a re-election. So when you are having a person and you're suspending for 1 year, you cannot conduct election also for that places, and also that constituency remains unrepresented, because now vacancy has not come. If he's completely thrown out, expelled, means we can understand we can conduct an election, but he's suspended, so that constituency there is no person, MLA, MP, to represent that place. Okay, so the state government argued that there was no limit to the action that the house could take, and they are telling Rule 53 of the Assembly allowed the Speaker to adopt a graded approach to disorderly conduct. Okay, so judiciary told something, and the State Assembly is telling something back as per the rules. Okay, government insisted that the suspension was imposed under the inherent power of the Assembly. Now, the court ruled in the absence of rule enabling such a power, the House had to adopt a graded approach that the same session limit could not be breached. So again, same thing, both are telling to each other. Now there is one Article 212, if you know. Okay, in Article 212, ideally, judiciary should not involve in anything which is happening inside the legislature. Okay, they don't have the power to govern. Okay, it's written in the constitution. If you see Article 212, courts not to inquire into proceedings of the legislature. The validity of any proceedings in legislature of a state shall not be called in question on the ground of any alleged irregularity of procedure. Okay, so that is all governed by the rules of the thing. Okay, but still, because judiciary has the power to see whether everything is happening as per the constitution, that extra power they are giving this comment. Okay, that you cannot go beyond the session. Okay, so like this articles why I'm showing you is, in your mains answer when you write also, you have to support your things with this kind of thing, rule number 53 or article number 212. It should be more specific. Okay, because everyone will write like as per the constitution, as per this thing, but as per which article of the constitution, only very few will write. So that's why when you make your notes for polity, there should be a separate page, separate book. Judiciary, in within polity itself, judiciary related cases a separate place, article separate place, like that you should have everything, so that before the day of exam, GS2 mains exam, you can simply go through it and by heart. Okay, if it's judiciary, it is this article. If it is poverty, it is this one. It is education, it is this one. Like that, you should have notes ready with you. Okay, so this is the thing going on. Hope you got the issue. The ruling is yet another reminder to legislative bodies that their functioning is subject to constitutional parameters. Okay, so this to and fro is going. We'll see what happens in the coming days. Now, Russia versus USA. So yeah, Russia going and trying to annex Ukraine and already posted 1 lakh troops in the Ukraine border. So there are problems there. Okay, so everybody is trying to find a solution for that. Now, French president also held talks with Russian counterpart. So Mr. Macron, okay, he's the French president, and German counselor are also trying to revive the stalled Minsk process. So this Minsk process, this is why I told every day US Russia article, they'll introduce a new process, a new article. So you will be needing to read everything. Okay, you cannot skip the articles telling like yesterday already I read USA Russia. Okay, so this Minsk process is actually again Ukraine, Russia, and this organization of one Security Council of Europe is there. They all together are trying to find a peaceful solution for Ukraine. Okay, so this Kiev, if you see, it's the capital of Ukraine, and Russia's separatist is there. Then this East Donbas region, this also UPSC can ask massively following. This Donbas or Kiev, everything is in Ukraine. Okay, so their problem is there. To solve that, there is a Minsk process. Okay, this is going on. Now again, Russia always, has a military advantage. Okay, Ukraine and Belarus and these people cannot fight with Russia in terms of military unless they get support from USA or something. And West is that USA is always trying to have diplomatic options. They don't want Russia to gain any more extra land or extra power and all, but they don't want war also, because it will become like the old World War and Cold War and all. So they are trying for diplomatic options to solve these kind of process. Okay, because the Minsk Protocol is an agreement which sought to end war in the Donbas region of Ukraine. Okay, so again, I think Minsk 2 was also there. So this all happened long back. Okay, it's not like 2020 or something. Before 2015 itself, this kind of things were signed, and they are trying to find processes or protocols to get this done. Now there is another thing called Normandy process also. You will see like the talks are happening in Normandy format and all. That if you see, Normandy format is like earlier there was a talks in 4 countries: Germany, Russia, Ukraine, and France. Okay, so that actually in some D-Day celebration in the place called Normandy in France, Normandy in World War also you will study. So this or in French Revolution also you will study. So this talks, okay, this format is what they refer in general. When these people comes to talk, they'll tell, okay, Normandy format talk. Okay, and it is not like this restricted to these four countries. Sometimes when these talks happen, if you see here, it's expanded to Belarus, Italy, UK. Okay, like if you see USA is not there, but European countries and these people comes together and they talk on certain issues. Okay. Now, Putin has already achieved many things without a shot being fired, meaning he did not have to war, he did not have to annex anyone, but he has got the Western leadership to talk to him. Okay, because NATO's expansion, that is, NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which USA is going and making friends with every European country. So, that expansion, which is going eastwards and reaching Russia, Russia has been asking many days to have a discussion about that and to stop expansion. But now, by going and keeping that troops 1 lakh troops in Ukraine border, Western leadership is forced to come and talk to Russia regarding this. Okay. So putting a gun to Ukraine's head, he has effectively drawn a red line in Russia's relations with the West. Okay. So whatever US will do is like US will tell we'll have economic measures. We'll tell okay, don't trade in our dollars. Don't anybody like India don't trade with Russia. They will put sanctions. So this is what they do. Okay, if it invades Ukraine. Now, nobody is threatening to punish Russia for not returning Crimea to Ukraine. This is one problem. Ukraine in 2004, Russia in 2014 had already annexed a part of Ukraine which is called Crimea. But when all these talks are happening now, they are not discussing about returning back the old Crimea to Ukraine. Okay, they are just telling don't do new annexations. Okay, so that is one concern also. So, USA has said it is open to discuss some of Russia's security concern. Russia should accept the US proposal, de escalate the crisis around Ukraine, and opt for more dialogue on critical issues, including NATO's eastward expansion. Meaning, Russia should not like simply ignore whatever USA is offering. You should try to talk and solve it. Russia might be in a position to overrun Ukraine militarily, but what comes next in Europe's largest country is as unpredictable as it can get. Meaning, you can win the war if you go and attack Ukraine. But later, what and all will happen in the geopolitics that cannot be predicted. Okay, because USA, when something happens, something which they don't like, they will do like revenge of 9/11 or whatever they do, they go and attack. Okay, so that should not be done. Putin should not walk into the same mistake and thereby push Europe back into the darker days of the Cold War. Okay, he should not try to bring back the old thing. Now, Gandhi. So, Gandhi, why this is being discussed? Because January 30, the Martyr Day, the Mahatma Gandhi's death anniversary, 74th death anniversary. So, one author has written a little philosophical kind of article. Okay. So, it is told as Mahatma Gandhi was both an enigmatic and disturbing figure. Okay, he used to think out of the box. He was open minded, soft reader of concepts and categories. He saw his place among the weakest and the poorest. So whatever I've underlined, no, that only is important. Remaining all are like philosophy. So if you want to make notes, you can make notes and you can write it because Mahatma Gandhi, one question comes every year. Okay, it can be in any paper, just 1, 2, 3, 4 essay, anywhere it can come. So his notion is just and truthful politics. That is, the weakest should have the same opportunity as the strongest. Gandhi being celebrated by the powerful and the victors and not by the weak and the defeated. Okay. So this is something which is very unusual because Gandhi always stood with the weakest people, but it's not the weakest people who are now actually telling Gandhi's name or praising him and celebrating his thing. Okay, it's all the people who are powerful. So that is in that sense, they're telling Gandhi is like a disturbing figure also. So why do we continue to admire Gandhi? Not because he's the father of Indian nation, but because he disturbs us. He was a chief doubter of oppressive systems and a rebel against all forms of hidden and open authority. Okay, he was always with this against the oppressing things and all. So Gandhi is a great example of simplicity and transparency. Okay, his mode of life, the way he lived, everything he did by himself. So that and all is the things which makes him different. So Gandhi had more joy and fulfillment in pursuing life, less in life, okay, than in pursuing more. Meaning everything he wanted less only. Okay, whatever it is, the living facilities, living conditions, everything he wanted only the bare minimum. The corporate mindset that of being successful, which dominate all aspects of our life, did not exist for him. Okay, meaning try to get everything, try to achieve everything which is out there, all the pleasures, all this thing that was not there in him. The corporate mindset was not there. Pure simplicity that we continue to have so much trouble in understanding Gandhi. Corporates, even when they use him as a logo or emblem, fear him. Okay. Like like Mahatma Gandhi's photo will be there in offices or his things are used everywhere. Okay, even in our currency note, he's there. So, but people fear him. Fear him means fear his ideals, like what he stood for, the truth, honesty, everything. Okay, so Gandhi is a perpetual truth seeker. Gandhi was an ambiguous personality. He neither masked himself nor put a mask on the face of Indian history. Okay, so this kind of lines you can use as an opening line if suppose Gandhi related something comes. Okay, he was an ambiguous personality who never wore a mask. He neither masked himself nor put a mask on the face of Indian history. He challenged Indian history by asking lucid and limpid questions from it. So moral and spiritual integration is there, interrogation is there, historical and civilization awareness is there, spiritual conversion to non-violence. So all, if you see these terms, historical, civilizational, spiritual, this and all should be there in your answer. Okay, like morality or anything which is helping the poor, weakened section of society. All these are Gandhian ideals. The DPSP, which you know, right? In the DPSP also there are many points which you can simply by heart and write whenever Gandhi question comes. And he actually is influenced by Socrates. Okay, so Socrates, who it is, and all you try to find out in your ethics books and all, it's there. So his philosophy was that of a spiritual exercise accompanied by an active reflection on truth and a lively awareness of all walks of life. Okay, so two principles if you want to write about Gandhi, one is self-discipline and self-restraint. Okay, so one quote is also given: a self-indulgent man lives to eat. A self-restrained man eats to live. Okay, so what you should be? You should be this one or this one. You should be a self-restrained man. Okay, you are eating to live. Okay, so that you survive. You are not living here to eat all the time. Okay, so self-indulgent is not what he is. He is self-restrained. So here are the terms. Okay, self-discipline, self-restraint. You have to know. More terms will come if you see self-realization, self-rule. These are the two concepts. So whenever Gandhi's question comes, use these four words. Okay, it will help you. Society of citizens who reconcile the self-determination of the individual with the recognition of the shared value in the community. Okay, so this realization should be there. The societies, individuals, citizens' determination, their rights and everything, and also the shared value in the community. Okay, this consciousness should be there. This self-realization should be there, and it's like self-rule. You are ruling yourself. Gandhi believed in the interrelated nature of human existence. Democracy was neither representation nor elections, but the transformative nature of the citizens. Okay, so if you see this self-related, at least five words you got. So this one is a compilation you can write in an opening para or a closing para. So self-transformation should influence not only the inner life of the individual, but also public life. And there should be upholding of the ethic of human action. Okay, there should be a wake of responsibility. Then global responsibility is nothing but an overriding loyalty to mankind. Okay, because when somebody tells like I am responsible, I am doing this or I am doing that, it should be something like it's just loyalty to mankind. Remembering Gandhi could be a way for us to be reminded of our global responsibilities and our loyalty to mankind. Meaning, overall, it is universal harmony. Without this, there will be no universal harmony if you don't have all these things. The pandemic shows us clearly that our world is in lack of moral leadership. Even if Gandhi is no more among us, his spirit has been with the great transformative leaders of the 20th and 21st century, meaning these people: Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Dalai Lama, Archbishop Desmond Havel, Pope Francis. All these people have got inspired through his ideals and is following most of his ideals. Okay. So transhistoric and transgeographical influence. Transhistoric means over the historical timeline. Transgeographic means it's not only India, across the geographical timeline. Everywhere people are getting influenced. So Gandhi was a moral and political leader who stayed out of the box. We continue to wrestle with the radical parts of his vision. Okay, so this and all are nice ways to explain same thing in different ways. Okay, if you see that article did not have much great examples of this and all, but they covered various dimensions by using the same point of Gandhi's influence towards the weaker section and also Gandhi's influence to the entire world. Okay. Now this one, if you see, an inequality report has come, that is, which is titled "Inequality Kills," that is published by Oxfam International. Okay. So in this, they are telling more than half of the world's new poor are from India. 84% Indian household have suffered a loss of income. 4.6 crore people are falling into extreme poverty. So this statistics you can by heart and write it, and you can use for this exam also, next exam also. Okay, 2022-23, both you can use this. Richest 142 people have more than double their wealth to more than 53 lakh crore. And this can only be corrected if our policymakers reverse their framework of paying lip service to the poor while making policies that support the rich. Meaning they're telling that the policies which are there, it's all supporting the rich class or the big business classes, but it's not reaching the poor. For poor, there is only lip service, meaning you're simply telling some things or it's there on paper, but it's not getting implemented. Okay, so commitment to equity should be there, especially in the union budget. Okay, this article is actually January 31st article. That is why it's telling union budget is about to come. So they are telling it should be taken care when the new policies are announced. Okay, so there is a constitutional mandate also to reduce inequality. If you know part 4, as I told, part 4 is the DPSP. So budget is one of the most important annual exercises in the state policy, and it is in the directive principles that should be the guiding light, meaning you should keep the DPSP in mind while designing the budget and policies. And they are giving two examples of DPSP, article 38 and 39. In 38.1 they are telling the state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing and protecting as effectively as it may a social order in which justice, social, economic, and political shall inform all the institutions of the national life. Okay, so welfare of the people is the main gist of this in Article 38. Article 39 also, state shall in particular direct its policy towards securing that the operation of the economic system does not result in the concentration of wealth and means of production to the common detriment. Okay, this was a 2021 UPSC question. 2021 question was concentration of wealth. Okay, that is violated through what? Okay, so its answer was DPSP. Okay, so this concentration of wealth is asked already. So you have to understand how important is the wordings under each article. Okay, just the article numbers are not enough. A right-based policy framework should therefore be followed. Okay, so Prime Minister advocates that people consider the duties. So recently, if you see, this was in January 2022, in one of the program, Prime Minister told that in the last 75 years, we only kept talking about our rights, fighting for our rights, and wasting our time. The talk of rights to some extent for some time may be right in particular circumstances, but forgetting one's duties completely has played a huge role in keeping India weak. Meaning everybody are asking for rights, demanding for rights, fighting for rights, but you never do your duties. Okay, there are many duties as an Indian citizen you have to do. So you have to go and see what are the fundamental duties, what are the legal duties. There are many things which you do correctly, only then a country will run. Okay, always you cannot tell like, okay, my right is there. Okay, as I told last day also I discussed, like if you go onto the road, okay, so that you can tell good roads I need and all, so that is your right, you can ask for it. But on the road following the traffic rules, that is your duty. Okay, so it's the same example, you can point it as a right also as a duty also. The rights and duties are correlated. That was UPSC 2020 question. Okay, what is the relation between rights and duties? Answer is rights and duties are correlated. Okay, so like that, this is what is happening. So author is telling, like Prime Minister is going on telling about duties only, and he's not happy with that. He's telling the rights and equality should be first be considered. So country like India, reducing inequality should be of high priority. So here if you see, particularly those that affect the survival of the poor. So again, going and telling that only India is in a very poor condition, especially after the pandemic and all, the everything is there. So budget has to be increased. Okay, budget is reduced last year also, so you have to increase it. Especially the social security expenditure declined, and that has to be increased. People are deprived of the basic services, the security pension for elderly, disabled women. All these things were frozen, and many people are like out of fund. So these things and all you have to take care while making the budget. Policymakers have just in the last year increased their own salaries and pension. Okay, so that the MP, MLA, this and all that is being increased, but the normal people's things are being reduced or getting blocked. So this has to be stopped. Even the National Food Security Act, the Manrega thing, these are all the things which help people during the COVID time. Okay, you get the food also like this much ration every month, and you get job also for 100 days in a year in Manrega. So these and all, if you see, funds are not there. Okay, fund allocation is very less, and it is reducing year by year. Is either frozen, or some of the states, I think 21 states or 16 states don't have funds to give to the people of Manrega. So that also center versus state one fight is going on, because center is telling like state is creating artificial records and telling like to get more money they're simply telling fake data. So that fight is also going on. Okay, so here if you see, grievances and appeals filed in writing is that the portal is closed and no more entries allowed. Okay, so when you are trying to raise grievances also, okay, thousands of cases will come, so people will keep raising grievances. That time the portal itself is sometimes closed or frozen or shut down, and no more entries are being allowed. So how will people then do this? People cannot do this. So 2011 census is new. That is the thing which you are now following, because 2021 census did not happen. So whatever data, the number of poor, number of caste, SC/ST people, everything is based on 2011 census. So now you know in the last 10 years, 11 years, the population has increased, the demography has changed. So now if you still consider 2011 census, everybody will not get their benefits, everybody will not be getting the subsidized food grain, or they will not get the things. So this, all the things are now raised as concerns under this inequality kills report, which is by Oxfam. Okay, so whatever the author is telling, he's telling like the inequality report is true and we have to believe that. Okay, even though many things will be exaggerated, but the author is believing that this is the correct report and government is doing nothing for the people. Okay. Formal education also, this we already discussed. Formal education, you know, in corona time and all, people are shutting down the schools even though everything else is open. So education budget also has to be increased. Okay, so we are waiting for budget 2022 and we'll see what will come. Here one People's Action for Employee Guarantee is there, one group. They have estimated that approximately this much crore will be needed to guarantee 100 days of work for active job cuts. Okay, so basic needs of the unorganized, voiceless people are ignored. So this and all has to be done. So again, same thing again and again. You should overall know that there is no positive point here. Okay, overall he's telling whether it's school children, whether it's Manrega people, whether it's social security benefits, everywhere the budgets has been cut down. So this year instead of making richer people more richer, okay, if you see this 142 billion and all, so instead of doing that, you should make policies to make a just and equal and more equitable kind of society. Okay, that is our commitment and that is our most fundamental duty. Now, Myanmar military coup. So, if you know, in February 1 last year, this military seized their power. Okay, their elections happened. Military was not happy with the elections. They thought some fraud has happened, and they then took over the power and they put the leaders in the jail. Okay, in house arrest. So, this is what happened. Now, as the things are looking, there is no chance of any betterment, or there is no chance. Everything is looking dark. Okay, because nobody is supporting. Also, nothing is happening. So, nationwide silent strike, like mass clapping and all these things are happening there, and they're angry with the military now because they have oppressed them and imprisoned their elected leaders. They are frustrated with the international community also because nobody is helping them. Some of the leaders are promising freedom from military rule by the end of the 2022, meaning there will be local leaders who rise up in these kind of issues. They're telling we will throw away the military and by 2022 we'll have freedom again. Okay, so military leadership, if you see, this is what happened in 2020 November elections. They told it's fraudulent and they did not like the landslide victory of this Aung San Suu Kyi, okay, the leader, and it feared that armed with strong popular mandate, she would clip their wings. Meaning, they thought she will come and they will reduce the powers of the military and establish it like a full democracy. Okay, like India and all, full democracy. But that they didn't like. They wanted the military powers also, like there is in Pakistan and all. So this is what happened. And if you see in the last 1 year, this many 1,500 people have been killed, 11,000 people have been imprisoned. So it's all going bad only. Okay, there is a data based on some assistance association for political prisoners, okay, a non-profit organization. They have given this data. Now a sizable number of security officials have been killed. Exodus of people seeking refuge in neighboring countries followed. Opposition was active in articulating people's anger, meaning, opposition party is trying to keep up that anger and the spirit among the people. And also one parallel government was formed, which is called National Unity Government. Okay, but this is the capital city. So they, now the military, they told that these are terrorist groups and they should not be supported, and they are also put down because military has a upper hand. Instability has ruined the economy, and the World Bank is also calling Myanmar as critically weak. The crisis also weakened the government's effort to manage the pandemic. Everything is wrong. Okay, if you see here one term, annus horribilis, meaning an year of disaster or misfortune. So one full year, there is nothing good which has happened in Myanmar. Okay, mediation by the ASEAN, because ASEAN group is there, of which Myanmar is a part, and they are hoping that ASEAN will intervene or do something, but that also did not happen much. And if you see here, they are trying to persuade the military general to accept some 5-point consensus. So if UPSC asked like 5-point consensus was in news, it is related to Myanmar. Okay, so here again it's like stop the violence, have a national dialogue, mediated effort by ASEAN, but I don't think the military is following it. Okay, military has resiled from its implementation. It is not getting implemented. Okay, the 5-point consensus. Now, ASEAN barred the senior generals' participation in the summit. Meaning, summits, the ASEAN people will come together. So, Myanmar, if you are represented by military general, they are not allowing it. They don't want that. They want a proper elected leader there. So, it offered representation at the non-political level, which Myanmar turned down. Now, Cambodia's prime minister, the current Asian chair, has adopted a softer approach and is backed by Thailand and Laos. Okay, so it aims at adjusting to the military's refusal to compromise. Okay, meaning they are ready to little bit dilute. Okay, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos is trying to talk with the military people and all, and trying to have a softer approach. So other Asian states led by Indonesia are opposed to Cambodia's diplomacy. Meaning Indonesia are telling you should not go and negotiate with these military people. They should restore the democracy there. Then further consultation and the internal consensus, all these are happening. And whether this happens on Cambodia's watch or later under the Indonesian leadership remains to be seen. Meaning which will go fine, whether Indonesia's decision is correct or Cambodia's decision is correct, that we have to wait and see. Okay, so if you see here, UN and ASEAN to craft a modus vivendi. Modus vivendi means agreement that allows conflicting parties to coexist in peace. Okay, so everybody are trying for peace, UN, ASEAN and all, but they are not doing anything very strongly. Okay, so West also exerts influence in Myanmar. United States and the European Union have not accurately assessed their military's resolve. Western policies to promote democracy and impose action against the military have produced minimal result. So whatever they have even tried also has not worked. Western, European, USA, everyone. Russia also, if you see, are trying to increase the defense cooperation and all since the coup has started. But main player will be always China. Okay, because China, whoever is there, they want to get that. The Myanmar is sometimes called golden land. They want to go and create more problems, take control over all the ethnic organizations, the armed organizations, everything they want, because their Belt and Road initiative is there. Their road is going across the world. So because of that, they are always because of the veto power in the UN Security Council also, they will decide whatever they like. Okay, whatever the world decides, it doesn't matter. China has their veto power and they will do with that. Okay, so there is close partnership with China for Myanmar, and the Myanmar rulers also desire independence also. Japan understands this, and uh, by acting by itself, Tokyo cannot make a difference. Okay, so whoever is having in mind also, they are not actually in physical format do something. Okay, India, what they have done, India has also not done like send the military or do something, but India will send the vaccines and that kind of things. Okay, humanitarian assistance is done by Delhi. Okay, like 1 million doses of vaccines are given, and even talks. Okay, the foreign secretary is trying to talk, and he even wanted to meet this Suki. Okay, but problem is the military people did not allow to meet. So that kind of things are there. So two-track policy of supporting democracy and maintaining cordial relationship. So this is what India is trying to do, and India is also discouraging the mass influx of refugees, because whenever such things happen, people will try to run out of there and come to countries like India. That will be problem for India also. So what will be the future, we have to see. There are three choices for the leader who is in house arrest now. One is long imprisonment or foreign exile, go to some other country, or retirement from politics. So what, as per situation, it looks like she is going to take retirement from politics and military is going to continue the rule. This is what we feel as of now, the condition. Now, last one is World Inequality Report, which is by World Inequality Lab. So India is now among the most unequal countries in the world. So if it is, this is also the inequality report, but by a different body. Okay, and here also the result is almost same. The bottom 50% of the population earn only this much. Top 10% earn more than 20 times. The top 10% and top 1% hold 57% and 22% of the national income. Okay, so this much wealth is there in the richer side of the bracket, and India stands out as a poor and unequal country with an affluent elite. Okay, a very influential rich class. So inequality today is as great as it was the peak of Western imperialism in the early 20th century. So they are comparing it to the old imperialistic times and all. So pandemic has again worsened it. Nations have become richer. Governments have become poorer. Totality of wealth is in the private hands. So the conclusion is almost same. So this corporate houses also gets tax exemptions and all. That also author is complaining, because I think from 30% it was brought down to 25%. So that kind of tax reductions are given, tax benefits are given. So the twin system of tax rates of companies claiming deductions and not claiming deductions. This is what the finance minister brought a system. Okay, there will be a tax rate for people who are claiming deduction, another tax rate for claiming not claiming deduction. Okay, so this is not important for you, but you should know, like, they are justifying it. Okay, whatever happens, the government will have a justification that we are doing it, we are charging the taxes as per the need. So domestic companies are charged like this: 25% when their turnover is less than 250 crore, 30% when the turnover is above 250 crore. Okay, then other surcharges also will be there. And partnership firms, they are taxed at 30%. Why? Because they are encouraging corporatization of firms. Instead of partnership companies, you should have a proper corporate model. So but medium and small scale industry find it a pain to go through the legal process of corporatization. So promoters of companies devise novel ways to escape their rigor of transactions taxation. Okay, so how much ever rules you put, always companies will find some way or the other to evade taxes. Okay, so decline in the corporate tax obviously will decline the government revenue. Okay, so it erodes the progressive nature of the tax. You should know what is progressive nature and regressive nature. Okay, like when we have income tax, corporate tax and all, it is usually like more income you get, more rich you are, more tax you will pay. Okay, like up to 5 lakh this much, then 5 lakh, 10 lakh this much, 10 lakh, 20 lakh. So more and more income you have, it is more and more tax. So it is progressive tax. But if you have GST and all, meaning you go to the shop and buy something, or if Ambani go to the shop and buy something, the GST which is there is same. Okay, so GST is indirect tax and that is regressive tax. Okay, so when you reduce this corporate tax and all, you are eroding the progressive nature. Ideally, this should be progressive. It should be like richer people should be taxed more. Okay, hope you understood the concept. Now, high income individuals choose to incorporate their business so that they can shift income from personal income tax to corporate tax. There are many ways, okay, way in which they transfer the wealth, the rich people, the wealthy families of promoters of big corporate houses, creating a succession plan through private trust. Meaning here, example they have given, the Walmart company and all in USA, which now owns Flipkart and PhonePe and all. So Walmart, they have private trust. So they are this is what is now Indian corporate houses are learning. Indian corporates are taking a cue from wealthy families in the West, like the Waltons who run Walmart. Okay, so they are transferring all the assets to the trust, and then tell like it's all in the trust. Nothing is there within the family. Okay, everything is run through the trust. the time has come for the reintroduction of estate duty in India. So earlier, there was something called estate duty. Even in your Lakshmikant textbook, it will be there. So estate duty was not there. Now, when these people are doing this, putting all the assets into a trust, you should charge that also. Okay, estate duty should be there, and that should come back is what this author is telling. Estate duty, wealth tax. There are many things which were abolished, but everything should come back. Government of India has to prepare for introduction of global minimum tax on MNCs. Okay, there was a discussion in 130 countries in July 2021 that there should be a minimum tax, global minimum tax on MNC, and it was decided around 15%. Okay, so lower than what the working class and middle class people in the high income countries pay. So it was lower, but at least something was decided, global minimum tax. But that time again, companies, you see, they are changing their company structure. Facebook is now becoming metaverse. Google, Apple, Intel are trying to work on new devices and all. Okay, new artificial intelligence and all those things where you will get extra tax benefits and all, and they are somehow trying to circumvent the minimum global tax. Okay, so companies, whenever you make a new law, they will try to find out some other way to evade all those taxes. Okay, so again, more things about metaverse and all is given here that we'll discuss in some other article, but that is how it is. Okay, so Satya Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, is telling what is metaverse. People can now hang out with friends or work, visit places, buy goods and services, everything, attend events, everything in a metaverse. Okay, so that's the future that you will see more and more articles in the coming days. Augmented reality attempts to provide a new kind of computing platform so as to find a new source of revenue. So that is again coming under new type of revenue. So government will have to make new laws again to tax it. Okay, so this 15% also, this author is telling that, and the inequality report is telling that it shouldn't be 15%, at least 25% minimum tax should be taken from all the big multinational companies. MNCs and their shareholders have been the main winners from globalization. Their profits have boomed due to their ever closer integration of world market. Okay, because now the entire world is connected faster, so they are booming. Okay, so inflation indexing has long been suggested as a way out to sort the difficulties of fixed income group. Okay, meaning as per the inflation increases, the taxation, the income, everything should be indexed with it. Meaning as per the inflation, that also should change. Taxation also should change. India is a poor country. Poverty is no disgrace to acknowledge, but it is real degradation not to attempt to overcome. Okay, so it is difficult and it is real. Everybody knows, but if you don't make solutions to solve it, then that is a big problem. Okay, so there's a saying, equity and income tax law may be strangers to each other, but they are not sworn enemies. Okay, so whenever a question comes on this taxation, inequality, law, rich versus poor, every time you can put this. Equity means making everyone equal. Equity and income tax law may be strangers to each other, but they are not sworn enemies. Okay, so you have to adjust it and use it. So this finance minister hope they will do everything properly for the budget. So again, they're concluding because the budget is coming the next day. Okay. So I hope it was clear. Now, if you are serious aspirant, please see to that you are on my WhatsApp and tell me whether you want the test series or you want to watch free lectures. Everything is available. Okay, free lectures are for every subject in both Hindi and English is there. Please hit subscribe button so that you does not miss any lecture. Okay, and both the channels are open free of cost. Please subscribe. Thank you and have a nice day.